late Saturday afternoon here, and just catching up on some vinyl collecting I've been doing recently. So hope you're all doing well. As you might be able to see, if I tilt my camera up here, up there you'll see a new little system. I'll talk about that later. So that's pretty exciting for me. I'll explain that soon. So keep watching Craig Vinyl. I'm just going to show you a bunch of new blues albums I've picked up recently that I'm pretty sure I've yet to show. So if you're into the blues, stay tuned. Herbie Hancock, 2 from him. This is from a soundtrack called Death Wish. I may have shown this, I'm not sure, on Columbia. Sorry about all the reflection. Love this album. Absolutely love it. Herbie Hancock. An amazing musician. Herbie Hancock again. Headhunters, of course. This is not an original press. I would love to get an original press. Again on the Columbia repress. But, you know, Herbie Hancock, can he do no wrong? I don't think so. Fantastic stuff. Cheezels. Is Cheezels popular where you are? Next in the pile of blues is Leon Bridges. Coming Home. This is a few years old now. I know he's got a new release. Came out about 3 to 6 months ago, which is more recent than this one. I picked up this album because I was able to get it for about $10, brand new seal. I hadn't heard about him, and it was part of a package I was looking at getting. I thought, who is this guy? And yeah, I looked him up, and I thought he was amazing. And yeah, sort of a modern bluesy guy. I think he's only going to get better. He's still in his young days, and he's put out a few albums already. So yeah, nice, easygoing blues, modern sort of blues feel. You can't go wrong. So that's that one. Sarah Vaughan, Tenderly. I picked this up at a thrift store. Yes, Craig Vinyl found another thrift store find. You know, probably a later one in her career. I've yet to spin it, so I'm not really sure. But Sarah Vaughan's name's fairly synonymous with you know, big blues music. So I'm not sure. Willing to try it. Henrik's Isle of Wight. Again, this album I think comes in many different cover designs. I'm not sure. I've yet to look at this. It's on Polydor. Beautiful condition. Only 6 tracks. So we got Midnight Lightning, Foxy Lady, Lover Man on side 1. Side 2 it's got All on the Watchtower, which is track 2. This is a Japanese press as well. So, love my Hendrix. Haven't played him for a long time. Finally got a Albert Collins album. Jap press. Frozen Alive. I believe there's a Frozen Alive 2. So, there you go. With the Obi. Gotta love the Obi. Shout out to Billy Hurst. G'day Billy. How's the Van Halen going with the Obies? If you haven't, just search Billy Hurst on YouTube. Billy's fantastic if you haven't seen. Fantastic photographer, great musician, and loves his vinyl. He's picked up a stack of Van Halen Jap Obies. Beautiful. Next one, my very first ever of his. I've got a couple of CDs of his. I'll talk about that some more soon. But my very first LP, John Lee Hooker, The Big Soul. Brilliant album. On VJ. VJ, of course, first synonymous with the Beatles back in the early 60s. Early Beatles on VJ. So my very first VJ label. Couldn't ask for any more than that. And John Lee Hooker. I don't know about the history of John Lee Hooker and his albums, like what label he was on, etc. So, any John Lee Hooker fans, tell me, is VJ, which was his main label? Who was he signed to? I'm not really sure. Love his music, but I'm not really into, I want to be into, his history of the labels he was on. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble, one of the first ones. Absolute must-have. I mean, this means so much to me. So much to me. This album on Epic. I think just when I first started jamming with the band, we didn't play publicly, but we had a few jam sessions with a neighbour of mine. He lent me this record, and I played it for the very first time. I didn't know who he was. He said, you got to learn this. You got to learn, understand the blues if you want to play guitar, blah blah blah. And I put it on my turntable at the time. This is about 1989 when I started playing guitar, so probably end of 89, late 89, early 90. I listened to this for the first time, and it's like, whoa. And I introduced Stevie Ray Vaughan to a lot of people who like guitar who didn't know about him, believe it or not, and each of them had the same reaction. Just could not believe how incredibly powerful this guy is. I just watch any YouTube videos of his and I'm still amazed. This one, my very first Otis Spann, and up on the Ace label. If you follow me on Facebook, links are below if you want to join in the community there. I played this today for the first time on Ace label. And absolutely unbelievable, this guy. What a brilliant muso. A pianist. And as I mentioned there in my Facebook page, he actually played with the likes of Muddy Waters and that. And if you read this, these sort of old records, I think this is from mid-60s. This is a later press though. That, back in the day, you go to the Chicago blues, into the bars, and guys like Muddy Waters and Otis and that, they'll be playing for a long time, and they'll break out into solos and just bring the house down. I mean, this is a magic recording. I can't highly recommend this enough. If you like the blues and haven't checked out Otis Spann, this one, you cannot go wrong. After that, when I played Otis Spann, I played this one. It's my very first Blue Note. Finally got a Blue Note record. It's Art Blakey and the Messages. These are a series of live recordings from 1954, I believe. They've been put here on vinyl, on Blue Note. And if you haven't never seen a Blue Note label, there we go. Kind of see it. Wow. Art's a drummer. He's got some Freddie Hubbard, a few other famous musos there playing with him at the time, jamming, recorded. Yeah, sometimes you hear people talk about your sound system set up, and if you have, when you're listening to music in your music room, you don't want to feel like you're listening to your speakers. You're listening to the music. You're not listening to a speaker. For the very first time with my setup in here, this album did it for me. It hit me that I was sitting there engrossed in this, loving it, and I didn't feel like I was listening to a speaker. The music was just filling the room, and it felt like the recording is that good. It felt like I was sitting in front of a gig listening to this song set up with the music set up perfectly. That's how good it was. So if Blue Note, especially live recordings, can do this each time, I'm sold. I'm definitely sold. So Blue Note, Art Blakey, check it out. There you go. And with the blues, of course, you got to have a bourbon or a whiskey. Nothing's better. So thanks, guys. Enjoy the blues. Tell me what you think about those albums. Art Blakey. Who's into Art Blakey? Tell me what you think about him, because he's not really spoken about in the vinyl community. I think that recording I just showed you, the album was absolutely brilliant. Cheers out, everyone.